This is the best level in the entire game. New hardest. Actually my favorite level. This is me, about to finally beat No Jokes. A huge jump from my previous hardest, Barbaros Finale. So, how did I get here? Well, let's rewind all the way to around late February 2025. I've just beat a new hardest level in Geometry Dash called Barbaros Finale by Mafe. Wow, yay, amazing. I know, right? After that, I decided to complete one more extreme as a little break from new hardest, and then after that, I was going to go for a new hardest. I had a pretty hard time finding a level that I enjoyed, but eventually I settled on the level Sunset Sandstorm. I started learning the level and got 52 to 100 pretty quickly. After that, I thought that it was just going to be not really that long before I beat it, and so far, I was enjoying playing the level, and I thought that I was going to have a really fun experience with this level. However, I slowly started really not enjoying the level that much. Mainly the first cube was extremely difficult, choke point heavy, and in my opinion, just not very fun. It didn't help that the first cube makes up like 70% of the level's difficulty. After this, I grew really frustrated with the level and ended up dropping it. I didn't try any extremes after that until around very early May, where I beat 666 for memory. This would be the last extreme demon I beat before I went for No Jokes. So how did I decide on No Jokes, you ask? Well, I could not for the life of me find a level above Barbaros Finale that I actually wanted to go for. Until one day, I decided to do a practice run of a level that I eventually wanted to beat, but definitely not now because I thought it was too big of a jump and I wouldn't enjoy it because it was just a lot harder. And I was not planning to go for it or anything. That level was called No Jokes by TheParadoxTeam. I did a simple practice run of the level and thought, hey, let's try to get some runs on this level for fun, because why not? It took me quite a while, but I finally managed to get the run 75 to 100. This consisted of some pretty difficult orb timings like this and this. This pretty easy spider part that I definitely shouldn't die to from 0 at all. This really hard ship part and the click at 90. This is brutal and ends many runs. Anyways, it felt pretty cool to get a run this good on a demon that was at the time number 148, so I came back the next day and got the run again. By now, I already had thousands of attempts on this level, and I found it to be really fun, so I decided, you know what? Screw it. This level is fun, so let's start learning more of it, and then we'll see if I want to actually go for this, considering there's nothing else I really cared about. Even if this is a really big jump from Barbaros Finale. And after that, there was no turning back. After getting 75 to 100 twice, I knew I had to go back further and get better runs if I wanted to actually beat this. I quickly learned this simple transition and got 72 to 100, which is not much harder than 75 to 100, but whatever. After that, I decided to attempt this pretty difficult run, which was 64 to 100. This run involves the ball part, which has some difficult orb timings that require you to hit these orbs at very specific times in order to land on these platforms without hitting any spikes. There's also these orbs which you have to hit pretty precisely to pass, although it's still difficult, it's not really that hard. And then there's... by far the hardest part of the level, at least for me. This wave part is insanely difficult, and trust me, this wave is 50 times worse than it looks. In this wave, your reverse gravity, because I guess making this just normal gravity wasn't difficult enough, and you have to let go and hold very quickly in a very precise way. And to make matters worse, these structures are slightly misaligned, making them inconsistent and much more awkward. Also, to make matters even worse, Wave is by far, and I mean by far, my worst game mode. Like, I am pathetically bad at the Wave. Luckily, this is literally the only wave part in the level, but still it's a huge choke point and very difficult from zero. Adding this single wave part is the reason that getting 64 to 100 on this level took me over 12,000 attempts, which is already more attempts than Barbaros Finale took me as a whole, so yeah, I was pretty glad to finally get this run. Why not? It's such a good topic of conversation. Yes! Alright, new best to 100. After getting that run, I decided to learn the rest of the drop. For those who still don't know, No Jokes is made up of two main parts. The serious part in the beginning and the funny ending part. The whole point of No Jokes is to seem like a serious and intense level where you think it's gonna be an intense drop, and then once you get to the drop, you're hit with... So yeah, I decided to learn the rest of the drop. The stuff I learned consists of this difficult orb section, which is basically just memory on which orbs you need to hit. Although it flows nicely, and even though it's pretty difficult, it does get really consistent after practice. And then there's this ball click, which is really tight, but somehow it does get somewhat consistent. Before this late orb timing into the ship part, where you have to time your release and then line up correctly to avoid the spikes without hitting any of these orbs. After that, you need to time this black orb, which is difficult because there's an invisible speed portal here, and it makes it a little bit awkward, but it does get pretty consistent once you know how to time it. While none of this is necessarily easy, I wouldn't say there's any absurdly difficult parts here either. Only this silly wave part. I got pretty consistent here and managed to get 48 to 100 in just under 17,000 attempts, meaning I had over half the level in just one run. Yes! Let's go! Drop to 100, baby! Oh my god, yes, bro. By now, I was feeling good about myself, so I decided to just learn the rest of the level. I started by learning 36 to 48. It starts off with this weird blind click, which is pretty difficult, and it never really got consistent for me, and it caused quite a few deaths from zero. There's a couple pretty tight spider timings, but nothing too crazy, and then there's this, the 41% click. While the wave part is still the hardest part of the level by far in my opinion, this click would have to be the second hardest part. Well, besides this first ship, but I'll get to that later. Anyways, this funny little click here is really hard for two reasons. One, I mean, come on, just look at this timing. It's a mini spider click and you're at 4 times speed, like, come on. And second, to make it even more difficult, the speed portal is right before the click, making it hard to know when to click. Although after that, it's pretty chill until this click where you have to line yourself up in the ship, which I died to a lot more than I should, even though it's not really that hard. And then after that is the drop, which I already knew how to play. While I didn't get 36 to 100, I did manage to learn it, and decided to start learning 29 to 36. The only thing this adds are some really tight timings, with the hardest one being this black orb at 31 and this jump at 35. Specifically, this black orb would be the most difficult timing here, and caused me quite a few deaths from 0. After that, I learned 23 to 29, which is literally just a dash orb, a buffer click, and a timing, which isn't really that hard. After that, I decided to learn 16 to 23, which is just some tight ship flying and these 2 blue orbs, which get someone consistent, but are still pretty difficult and make you double click pretty fast. After that, I learned 10 to 16, which is just some ship flying and some orb timings. Nothing really caused me that much struggle, so I decided to just learn the rest from 0. However, I was not prepared for how stupidly difficult this dual ship was. This dual ship is super awkward and never really got consistent for me. Plus, it's dual ship physics, and that just makes it so much worse. Also, this beginning has these brutal orb timings right at the start, which doesn't help at all. So yeah, it took quite a while to get far from 0, but at least I had learned the whole level. And after practicing a lot from the start positions, I finally got my first decent run from 0. Okay, I got 40. Nice, I'll take it. By this point, I had over 23,000 attempts on this level, and while this was a pretty dumb death because this click is not really a choke point at all, I was glad to make progress, and sure enough, the next day, I got another new best. Okay, Mango.
How are you today, Shadow?
I got a new best.
Wait, actually?
Yeah, I literally just got a new best. It was by 1%. I died to the hardest click in the entire level. Yeah, I only got 1% farther, but hey, progress is progress, so I can't be complaining. On the same day, I decided to play from start pauses, and when I was playing from 29, I managed to get an insane run of 29 to 79. $29 to $79. This run was crazy because I passed 2 of the hardest choke points in the whole level in a single run, being the 41% click and especially this freaking wave part. After that, I did some runs from 0 and like 30 minutes later, I got 41% again. Dying to 41 again was pretty sad, but completely expected, and I was really satisfied with the progress I made that day. So the next day I would get 48 to 100 again before getting the run 39 to 95 after around 33,000 attempts. Overrated. And Messi is better anyway. Dying at 95% is pretty stupid because it's literally free, but I didn't really care because this would technically be my best run yet, because I got through a combined total of 56% of the level with no deaths. However, it wouldn't even compare to the absolute insanity that happened next. I decided to play from 36, and I got 36 to 90. No! 63 to 90, I wanted that to 100 so badly. Pretty good run, nothing crazy. And then literally 24 seconds later, I got 36 to 86. Come on. Now that was pretty insane, but somehow 6 seconds, literally 6 seconds after that attempt, I got 36 to 93. Like, what? This consistency was absolutely insane, and it literally came out of nowhere. Like, I don't know how I even managed to do this. What is my consistency right now? Also, now I think is a good time to mention that I made a playlist of every single progress run you see in this video. So if you want to watch the full clip of this, or for any of these, then that's where they will be. Okay, back to the video. Anyways, to make it even crazier, like 30 minutes later, I got 36 to 100, making that my best run yet. And also meaning I finally had the level in 2 runs, which took me over 41,000 attempts. Here is the clip. $36 to 100? No way, that's actually crazy. Let's go, I got 36 to 100. That was probably my best progress day yet, and I was super happy with how it went. So I decided to go to bed and play tomorrow. The next day, I got some runs from 0 with the goal of making it to the drop. But unfortunately, I died to the click at 41% for a 3rd time without passing it. However, I kept playing from 0, and around 20 minutes later, this happened. Finally, I passed 41. Oh my god, I finally passed 41. I made it to the drop. I made it to the drop. Yes, let's go. I finally broke the 41% mind block and made it to the drop from 0. This felt great. I was really enjoying playing the level despite the tens of thousands of attempts I already had on it, and only having made it to 52. However, later that day would be one of the best and worst things that happened to me. I got 29 to 100. Now you might be wondering why I said one of the worst. Well, after getting the run, I went to go post the clip to my Discord server, and then I realized I forgot to record. Yeah, this is the only time I made pretty good progress that I just forgot to record, so you will just have to trust me on this because I can't really prove that I got this run because I wasn't recording. But as long as I didn't forget to record my winning run, I knew that it would be fine. And it wasn't really that big a deal. Not long after, I made a pretty big jump in progress. I got to the drop again and I managed to pass 52. I got all the way to the wave part, and then I 100% expected to die here as it was my first time getting here from 0. Also, it is the biggest choke point of the level, but to my surprise, I didn't. I actually passed the wave. Now, I really had to lock in, because I had a pretty good chance to just beat the level, so I locked in, and this is what happened. Oh my god. I died right after the wave to 70%. I was really glad to finally pass away from 0 because now I felt like I could really beat this level. By now, I had just hit 50,000 attempts on the level, so I thought if I kept it up, I would be able to beat it in around 65 to 75,000 attempts. And not long after, I got a run of 16 to 87, tying this with my best run 29 to 100. Whoa, that was from 16 to 86. I thought that was from 29. I played more from 0 and got to the drop before expectedly dying at the wave. I was finding this level extremely fun, so I was really excited to just get on and play the level. And not long after, I made it back to 71 and I passed it. Then I passed more of the level and got to the final part of the drop. 75 to 100. Now, I've gotten the run 75 to 100 multiple times by now, and I would probably consider it the easiest part of the level. So after getting there, I knew I had a shot at just beating the level, so I had to lock in. Oh my god, 81. I made it to 81%. This run was crazy and gave me hope of beating this soon. I was determined to beat this level. However, sadly, I would not make progress from 0 for almost over a month after that. You remember that one wave part I told you about? I guess I had just been getting really lucky up until now, because that wave would kill me from 0 many times afterwards. I would keep getting good runs from star pauses, but never make progress from 0. I got worn out of playing the level, and I didn't want to begin to hate it, so I started playing it less and less, and took a short break from it. I did not want to just drop the level because I still really loved the level and found it very fun, and I already had really good progress on it. So I felt it was best to just not force myself to play it. When I did play it, I would get good runs from start pauses, but not get good runs from 0 or any good runs to 100. Within the time of just under a month, I would die to 70% once more. I died to 71 and 73 both one time from 0. I died at 81 again, but this time to one click before. I got 16 to 93, which was a pretty good run, so here's the clip of that. What was that? Oh my god! And the most soul-crushing part of the level for me would be, you guessed it, the wave. I died here a total of 15 times from 0, and that made me feel pretty demotivated. My pass rate with this wave was absolutely terrible, and not long until I had spent almost 99,000 attempts on this one silly level did I make any insane progress. I started playing the level a lot again, and I was just grinding the level like any normal day when I got 36 to 100. You know, I already had this run, so it wasn't a huge milestone or anything, but it was still pretty good. So I decided to play a run from 0 right after, and this happened. Nice! 36 to 100, no way. I just beat it backwards. I just beat No Jokes backwards. I just beat it backwards. Oh my god. Yep. I had just beat No Jokes backwards. I technically beat over 100% of the level in a row without dying. So this would be the final bit of progress that really showed me I can do this any day now. I basically already did it, so I know I have this. Basically already beating the level gave me a huge confidence boost and made me feel really good about myself. Literally the next day, I hit 100,000 attempts on the level. This was way more than I planned to hit, and I never thought I was ever gonna have enough motivation to spend this many attempts on one silly level, and not long after, I beat it backwards again. This time getting 36 to 100 and then 38 back to back. This would mark the final really good run before it happened. Around 3 hours later, you know, I was just playing from 0 normally, just talking with my friends, and I managed to get to the drop. And then the wave. And then I passed the wave part. I passed the rest of the level, and even the choke point at 90% that I 100% expected to die to. So after 101,246 attempts, over a month of grinding, and one incredible journey, I present to you my completion of No Jokes. Who joined?
Hello.
Did you get McDonald's? I'm currently playing No Jokes. Guys, I need to lock in.
Well, I'm currently waiting for my food at McDonald's.
Stop! I beat it! I beat it! I beat No Jokes! Yes! 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 I beat it! Oh my god! Yes! Yes! I beat it! Oh my god! I beat it! I beat it! Yes! Oh my god. So now I've beaten No Jokes. What do I think of the level? Well, I think this level is absolutely amazing. The level has an amazing concept of, haha, funny joke level. This song works perfectly with the level because the beginning of the level is super intense. And then just as you think you're gonna get to the drop and have it be this really fast-paced, crazy kind of drop, the level just goes drop. And I think this works really well and is super original. And the decoration just works very well with the level, despite the decoration not being anything amazing, and even being somewhat mediocre at times. Honestly, I just think that really helps the level achieve what it's going for even more. Also, the gameplay in this level is really, really fun, and in my opinion, it plays extremely well. I highly recommend this to anyone who is good enough to try this and at least give it a go, because in my opinion, I think it's a really fun and overhated level. That's just my opinion though. There's multiple people who don't like this level due to it being 39 seconds long, and I completely understand how it can get tedious to people who hate really short levels. Especially when you realize that this level is basically 39 seconds of gameplay, much harder than the average top 150. But if you enjoy that kind of stuff, then you will most likely enjoy this level because it's really fun when you learn it. This would definitely be my favorite GD level I've ever beaten because of both how good the level is and even more so my experience playing it. I found this incredibly fun from start to end, and it is definitely my favorite experience in this game ever. If I personally had to choose a favorite part of the level, it would be everything from 48 to 100. AKA the entire drop part, except the wave. This was my favorite part of playing the level, as I believe it is the most fun part, and also uses the best part of the song. Everything in this level is still really good though, even this wave, despite the fact that it caused me so many deaths. Anyways, yeah, I'm glad I finally did this, and before it fell off the list too. Overall, amazing level, super fun and enjoyable journey to beating it, and really good experience. I could not recommend this level more. If you made it this far into the video, I just want to say thank you for watching. This is definitely my proudest achievement yet, and it means so much to me that other people want to hear about it, too. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I didn't just waste your time. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.